Maybe, whatever, you keep going. People hit me up from high school or whatever the fuck, and they'd be like, yo, I'm trying to rap and do this and that and all that. And I tell them, do it. I'm not going to ignore your message. I'm not going to be one of these people, oh, fool, you never supported me, fool, so fuck you, dog. I'm not even going to respond, fool. Like, that's fucking corny, dog. You know what I mean? It's corny for you to have this, they never supported me, so I'm not going to support them mentality. That's where we're fucked up today.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Cerbavelli. Back in the place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81. We in the building, live in effect, live and direct. It's your boy, Mr. Nine Times. Over the weekend, it was a pretty chill weekend, man. I really didn't do much. I really look forward to not doing much because I do so much during the week, bro. So I didn't really do anything except we got busy a little bit yesterday. Yes, we had me and my pops, we went somewhere and we got a few new toys, man. I think everybody knows. I think everybody who understands and listens to this podcast, they know what I'm talking about when I say a few new toys, right? So maybe I won't tell you better than I could show you, right? So in due time, you will find out what's happening. Should I just tell the story? Why am I being like this? Have I ever held my tongue back? Okay, so yesterday was my dad's Droz day. He brought a Springfield 1911 tactical response pistol. It's a beautiful, expensive 1911. If you know anything about 1911s, you do know that the better quality goes up there in price. Granted, you can find probably like a 400, 500 Rock Island Armory 1911, but it's cheap. You know what I mean? The way I feel about like cheap guns and expensive guns is pretty much, you got to pick your poison. Do you buy cheap to save money, or do you buy cheap because that's what you can afford? Obviously, most people can't afford a $2,000 pistol. That's obvious, right? But you could kind of find somewhere in the middle, 800, 750, something like that. Even those will punch out a fucking $400, $500 1911. Now, there are pros and cons to everything. Me personally, I do not like high points. I do not like any high point kind of firearms. They all look cheap as fuck to me. They all look like if somebody put them together in a garage. It's funny because I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I told the shop, I've never seen a C9 pistol anywhere. I've never seen high point firearms anywhere in my life. So when I went to the shop and I saw they had a C9 there, I was like, dude, I've never seen one of these in real life. Like they're never in stock. I assume by choice, but I do see the other side. Like if a C9, I think the thing was like $250, $300, which is crazy cheap. I'd still prefer a Bursa Firestorm, even though the beaver tail digs into my hand. I would still prefer that over a C9. Because, I don't know, I just trust the quality of the firearm over a C9. Half of it is because of the aesthetics, you know what I mean? A C9, all high point firearms look ugly as fuck to me. They all look like something that came out of a Borderlands nightmare or something like that. I haven't played Borderlands in such a long time. It's crazy, man. I'm going to hop off of this and play some Borderlands 2. I think I bought Borderlands 1 too and I never played it or something like that. Borderlands 3 is too slow for my Sistema and shit. You need a PC that runs the highest frame rates, which I don't. I have a PS4. I doubt it'll be that much better on a PS5, but I'm not going to judge because I don't have that. Going back to the whole the gun thing, me and my pop, we went to the shop. It was Joe's day. He went to go Joe's his pistol. They showed it to him and everything. And the homie Angel, shout out to the homie Angel. He stipple grip my Glock 19 from the last episode. If you're not if you're unfamiliar, it was funny because there was like 3 people. Normally you have to go in and sign in, but I guess since my dad, or like since they know us and we like spent our hard-earned money, I guess we kind of like leapfrog. We're like I felt like a fucking VIP, just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, cause we're there all the time. We're there like, if not every other weekend, at least once a month, right? At the shop, you got to sign a list. You got to sign your name on the list and they go by, they cross your name out next. Other places they have numbers you take, but here we were already late. I mean, every time my dad, anytime my dad says we want to make it on time, we always end up late, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be forgotten about, or whatever the fucking. I forgot who said that. I got that from fucking Ghost, but I'm pretty sure they got that from somewhere else. We had got there probably like 10:20 or something like that, and the shop opened at 10. The amount of people, there were probably like 3 or 4 people ahead of us, but when we walked in, they were like, Luis, what's going on? What do you need? Oh, I'm here to drost or whatever. Okay, my pop did the drost, and I think I was looking to see about their PC carbines, the pistol the pistol caliber carbines, however you fucking want to say it. I was just looking, and the homie Angel came out and he was like, "What's up, dude? What do you want to look at?" And I'm just looking. I asked them if they had any PC carbines, and he showed me one that looked like it just was like an AR platform. And he was like, "Yeah, we got this right here. The only problem is it takes Colt magazines." And I'm like, as soon as he said that, I'm like, "No, bro. Like, I'm not gonna fucking get a rifle that takes Colt magazines." And the handle had the fin on it, the shark fin, which makes me want to stab somebody every time I look at it. I want to buy an AK from over there, but same thing. They have a fin on it, which is so stupid because we live in California where they basically butcher the shit out of firearms, and they put they regulate the fuck out of them, and it's just horrible. It definitely perturbs buyers from buying guns, which is like, why would you not want to defend yourself? Why would you want to rely? When someone kicks in your door and shoots your mom or something like that, and you call the cops, the response time, they're gonna be there in 5 minutes. That's enough time for whoever's breaking in your house, God forbid, they shoot you, your sister, your mom, your dad, whatever it is, right? And they're gone. Sure, they'll probably get caught, but the window of time of response for them is too big, versus if you're locked and loaded, if you're ready to go, ready to defend yourself, what's to stop you from defending yourself? Okay, there's no window of time. You're just on it like that. So with California, y'all know how I feel about California. We live in, people say California. I wouldn't go that far, but I would say our laws are very liberal, very, like, I don't know what we're thinking as a society. But it's all, I blame it all on the system, and I don't want to go too far into that. I just want to say that I want an AK. Realistically, I'm not going to get a fucking AK I want here. Same thing with the AR, same thing. That's why I want to move somewhere else and pretty much go somewhere where the laws are way more lenient to purchase a firearm. I think the most lenient state that has as far as gun laws is, I think, New Hampshire, somewhere all the way the fucking opposite side of the map. Literally, I think it's New Hampshire is like the most eastern state in the U.S. I want to say, and it's like, who the fuck is gonna live? Nobody ever says, yeah, I'm from New Hampshire. Like, bro. Like, I've never met nobody. The amount of people I've met outside of California in California is probably like, I think I've met people from Texas, North Dakota. I met one person from North Dakota, I think one person from Texas, and I think that's pretty much it. Maybe somebody from New York, maybe, but that's pretty much it, man. While we're in the shop, I'm looking at the PC carbines. Didn't like anything I liked. And he was like, yeah, they have the Ruger, but I think the Ruger, I want to say, is like 800. That's way above my budget right now, especially since I just bought my Glock 17. I don't know what I was thinking buying another one. I'm fucking pulling a pops on everybody. Just, I got caught up with my bills, and here we go with me adding another fucking bill to that equation. The good thing, though, is that they had to order it, so they didn't have it in stock, so there's no hurry for me to pay it off, especially because I'm having, a little bit of fucking car issues with the tires. I got to get new fucking tires. So life just happens. And it's funny because my pop was just telling me, like, you got to save your money because $500 in an emergency is like a fucking $1 million when you don't got any money. And he was right. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to open up a savings account, and I think I want to do that. I think I want to open up a savings account and just do the right thing and probably take, a certain percentage, $50. $50 sounds good to me every month. Because what is that? Like $200 a month? $200 a month? Hey, man, you'll be set in no time. That's at least a great gun every year. Or a nice trip, that's like a really good trip every 2 years. You know what I mean? And maybe every year you could go camping or something like. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't want to discuss my ideas and have none of you fucking steal them on my podcast. That's another thing too. A lot of people steal my ideas, and we talked about this. I'm gonna hurt somebody, but we're gonna get off of that real quick. I had a couple of things. Oh wait, I'm not even done with my stories. I have some things I want to say, but. While I'm looking around, they have a Mossberg, beautiful Mossberg with the wood stock, and then it looked like a wood pump and shit like that. That was wacky right there, I'm not gonna lie. A Heatshield, awesome. Problem is it's about $800, which is like $900 going home with it. And I'm like, pumping the action. I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, this seems like the shit right here. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I like this shotgun, but y'all don't have it in stock. They put the order for me. It's the same thing as a Mossberg 590 pump with the Heatshield 9-shot. That's what is important for me. I don't care about it being, you could put a fucking bayonet on it, ghost ring sights, a laser, a flashlight, the pistol grip handle. I don't really, I don't care about any of that shit really. I want more rounds. I want more bang for my buck. And I think Mossbergs, you could still end up, I think they say is like the Glocks of shotguns, where you could just customize the shit out of it. And that's what I want to do. I want to just deck it out just like my Glock 19. I have plans to just deck the halls with lots of jolly and la 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 la, bitches suck my dick, right? I love that song. Shouts out to Santa Claus. So we got some things we're gonna run down. So basically, I ordered the fucking pump action shotgun, and fucking that's why I was being all secretive about it in the beginning. So I was watching the Math Hoffa's podcast he did with Joe Budden. And they were talking about how much is a stream worth. And Joe Budden was saying how Spotify and all these companies, they don't want you knowing what a fucking stream is worth. Now, let's just say, for the fucking sake of everything, granted, you got to pay for subscriptions, especially with Spotify, Tidal, I know SoundCloud, like all these platforms, YouTube, everyone has like a premium subscription platform, right? So let's just say a stream is worth $1 for them. And they're giving you like 0.004 for Spotify or whatever, whoever it is. Like, let's just say, right? I think it takes 1 million streams to get $4,000 versus, if we're doing the math, $1 each, a fucking a million streams for their money is 4 million. That's a pretty great what is it, markup for them, right? Or I don't know the business terms of whatever. But if I'm making $4 million and I gotta give 4,000 of that to someone else, that's 3,900,960,000 profit. Is that not a problem? Is everyone okay with that? I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I want to get my business right, start publishing, owning my masters and all that. No one owns my masters. I'm in control of my own destiny. But I'm literally thinking about what Joe Budden was saying, which is how much is a stream worth, and he was saying how taking a bank loan is a lot better than just signing with a label. The only thing with that is, with a label, you have a whole machine behind you that is, if they're like, I don't want to name a big label, but if they're a major label company, they have years in the business, they know how to market, they already have these connections, radio, whatever, right? Like, they have the whole machine behind them to get it on and popping. Versus if you have a bank loan, well, you're gonna have to, it's on you, like what you're gonna do with all that money. A lot of people, they don't know how to use money. A lot of people, they don't know how to invest. So basically, if you take whatever, $100,000 loan, okay, well, the bank is going to charge you interest. It's going to be more like you owe 150 grand by the time you're done paying that shit off. So it kind of reminds me of the Yu-Gi-Oh episode where I don't know what the exact numbers were, but basically Kaiba's dad told him, he gave him like $1 million, and he told him, but I'm not just gonna give you this money. He's like, in 1 year you need to turn $1 million into $2 million. So Kaiba, what he did was, he took that million, he bought out this I think orphanage. He was an orphan, so I think he bought out the orphanage he was from, and then he sold it back to them, but he basically sold it for 10 million. So he made 10 times the profit, but he fucked over like everybody in that business deal. And in one day, I mean, granted, that's very, very unrealistic in reality, but in one day, he turned 1 million into 10 million. And granted, this is a fucking anime and this is very general, but he had the business mind and he knew exactly what to do and yada, yada, yada. So basically, in business, in investments, you gotta know your math. You gotta know the homework. You gotta do your research. You don't say, I'm gonna buy fucking Joe's Crab Shack for 100 grand and then thinking you're gonna make 500 grand by the end of the quarter or whatever it is. Like, it's just not gonna happen. There's so many variables in business that it's just crazy. So the fact that we got to learn how much a stream is, as an artist, we got to know these certain things. That's why there's a difference between making music and the music business. That's where a lot of artists kind of like, there's a fork in the road. I've seen a lot of successful music businessmen or women that make music that's like not even good, like it's subpar. Their music's whatever, I guess it's listenable, but it's not great music to me. Then there's music artists that don't make shit off of, and the music business men and women, they have all their shit, they're making their money, they're doing their tours, they're doing radio, they're doing this and that, and their numbers are up, right? Because they know how to market themselves, they know the business, but their music is just whatever, right? Versus you get a music artist, let's just say like me, and I'm not making that. I'm not doing those numbers. I'm not making that feria. But guess what? My music is unique. It's untainted by opinions. I'm not looking for certain demographics. I'm not looking to hit certain numbers. I'm not trying to fit in a box or a sound or palette or make my music palatable to whoever, like, you know what I mean? I'm not looking for that. So in that sense, I'm free. I'm free to do whatever it is I want to do. I'm free to make the music I want to make because I'm not looking at fucking numbers on a board. But in that, I'm not making that much money. And as an artist, you have to look at that and say, do I want to be the fucking underground rapper that's known for his skills and not for his money? Or do I want to be one of these TikTokers or YouTubers or what is Twitch streamers, whatever it is? Do I want to fill my pockets and kind of like, I don't want to say sell out, but it's like, you sacrifice the artistry for the business. Now, granted, there are the middle ground people. There are those people out there that they make great music and they do great business, i.e. Kendrick Lamar, whoever it is. That was the first one I could think off in my head because he's the one who I could think of. He does have a great platform with great music. He does talk about interesting political, social, governmental system, whatever it is. Great. He just has a great message in his songs. And then from the outside looking in, he's doing great music business, right? But then again, he has the machine behind him. So there's just, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like how much a stream costs, going back to that, it's crazy. It almost makes me not want to put my music out there at all and just do hard copies, straight hard copies. You know what I mean? It's a very, you know, a lot of people, they say, oh, it's so easy to just put your music out there. Yeah, it is. But guess what? That's what makes it oversaturated. That's what overpopulates everything. So you have to be like a fucking unicorn to stand out and make money during these times. You know, the last big artist I feel like that came out and exploded was an artist like Peso Pluma to me, where Peso Pluma, he has like a very old school type of a vibe to him, but it's like a new generation. And he has like a very unique voice. You know, I forgot the young dude who was like a Weddle too, and he sang. I forgot his name, but he had a unique voice too. And it just worked out for them. Like some artists, it just works out for you, you know, and salute to them. You know what I mean? I definitely don't want to feel like I'm hating on nobody. You know, like you get your money and you get it the way you get it. And you're just a fucking hater if you don't like that. Granted, I don't listen to Peso Pluma like that. He does make good songs, but I don't even listen to Spanish music like that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like there's some songs, some corridos I like and shit like that. I definitely don't really like the new era reggaeton and shit. Like I had a coworker that would blast nothing but reggaeton, like the new age reggaeton, not the old school, like El General or things of that nature. Then again, it's kind of like you listen to the music you like, and the music consumer is going to consume the music they like. But what I'm saying is there's artists out there that know how to market themselves or have the machine behind them to market themselves. You just got to be conscious. You got to be aware about the game because the game is very cutthroat. The game is so fucking cutthroat. And you hear that. You hear people, whatever it is, they talk about it's a dog eat dog, whatever the fuck. And you have no idea until you step foot through the door and you look around, you say, oh shit, this is what they're talking about. Seeing is believing. If you don't believe it, you ain't seen it. Or if you ain't seen it, you don't believe it. Me personally, going around, just not even being in the industry, just going around and seeing the scenes and all that, just being around, I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know if this shit is for me, cuz I'm very reclusive. I'm very to myself. A lot of people take that personally. A lot of people think I'm just trying to hop in, hop out, take advantage of certain situations. No, bro, this is just how I am. I'm very to myself. I've always been that way ever since I was in high school. Maybe even before that. I've just been a very private person with my life. Granted, I let you see my house. I let you see certain things about my life. I do the dumb fucking food reviews. And everything is peaches and cream, but that's because I allow you to see that side of me. If I didn't, you don't. You know, I do want to put myself out there more, but Me, I'm just so busy doing what I want to do, and the way I want to do it is how I want to do it. So if you don't like that shit, I totally understand. Because but don't take it personally. Because I'm out here doing what I want to, what I think is best for me, and everyone it does what's best for them. I just don't like when people's egos get involved and people try to like their ego will get in the way of business. And I've never been that. I've never put my personal feelings in business. I've worked with people I don't like. That's fine. I've been around people I don't like. That's gonna be a given, bro. For years I've worked with people that I've not necessarily been like holly jolly about, but that's life. You're going to be around people that don't think the way you do, that don't have the same opinions in you, that you might like vanilla ice cream, they like Rocky Road. You like fucking pan dulce, they like Italian bread. That's fine, bruh. I have no problem with that. We're all human. We're all unique in our own different ways. But to try to judge somebody, to try to criticize somebody just because of their preference is kind of fucking wild when you think about it. You know what I mean? So that takes me to, I want to challenge Curtis Kings. He says something about support, right? He says something, I'm going to actually pull this shit up so I'm not talking out my ass. Oh, and there goes, why does Instagram reset the whole shit? Hold on, let me see. I got it for y'all. Don't worry. Stay tuned. Don't leave. Don't go watch the Bird Bitch podcast.
It's so important, but I know there exists an artist out there who will make excuses and say nobody supports me.
Okay, I know they chopped this shit up, and how do we stop it? Do I gotta hold it? Pause. Okay, so they chopped it up, but basically Curtis King, from what I could tell, he was saying that artists make excuses and say nobody supports me. I don't know if that's pertaining to, because I didn't watch this whole shit. I don't know where it's from. I just seen this little post, and I was like, okay, this is some shit I want to talk about. So Curtis King, he's talking about, artists make excuses and say nobody supports me. If people's opinions stop you from making music, you shouldn't make music. There's my own family, my own friends. They don't fuck with my music or they don't support me. That's fine. You go listen to Travis Scott. You listen to Future. You spend your money where you want to spend it. That's fine, bro. There's no hard feelings. I'm not going to let anybody's opinion. I'm not going to let anybody stop this music shit. There's the famous thing I said with Abe the Freak, where I said my uncle said my music sounded like gibberish. Hold on, what the fuck is going on? Jesus Christ. So my uncle said my music sounded like gibberish. I was like, go fuck yourself. And if I just let that get me down and just stop the work, I'd fucking go nowhere with my life, with listening to people's opinions and shit like that. It's bullshit to have somebody stop your work and get you down like a little girl. Why would you do that? All right, so let's go back to this. Hold on, let's go back to this. And that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like having family that supports you, like my parents and shit like that. Granted, they're not fucking gonna they haven't been to every show of mine, but the fact that they do now is awesome. When I was a kid, my grandma would drop me off at baseball practice or my games or whatever, and I would never see like my parents or something like that, or I would hardly see them. Maybe during basketball they would do it, but I remember for baseball specifically, I would want to see my dad, and my dad was never really there. And he's made up for that by showing up to my shows and shit. Now he was there during the best performance of my life. And I'll forever remember that. He was there. I gave him a hug. And, he's made up for that all the fucking way with all the other shit he's done, because, that's my pops, bruh. And I don't know if he just sees that like I'm great or whatever like that, or whatever it is. I just, whatever. I think that's awesome.
Artists out there who will make excuses and say nobody supports me. A nigga who's using all his time to make excuses can't use his time to make things happen.
Exactly, that's what I just said.
Just think a nigga's supposed to cheer for you. You're not tight. Man, I had
Okay, but this okay. I want this. This is
and my pops used
okay. This is what I want to talk about. Okay, so with this whole thing, right? I get the whole people are not entitled to support you, but then he said you're not tight, which is kind of okay. Well, that's your opinion. That's fine. But you don't have to think nobody's dope to support them. That's your own ego saying, oh, well, fucking, they're not dope, so I'm not going to support them. Do you know how many artists I've supported that I don't think are as good as me? And that's my ego saying, well, fuck this fool. You know, fuck that shit. I'm way better. You know what I mean? I've supported many people, family, friends, whoever it is, and that whatever they're doing sports or whatever. I'm not doing sports, but guess what? You did a touchdown, you caught an interception, whatever. That's great. That's fantastic. It don't cost nothing to support people. It don't cost $1 million to say, you know, that's great, you keep doing you and whatever it is, and that's just the artist thing. I get, don't I'm not trying to, you know, be disrespectful and all that, but just seeing the posts and all that, I see both sides. I get where they're coming from, where you have to earn people's support, you have to earn people's respect, but I want to challenge that. Why do you have to do that? Can somebody tell me why? Why does it cost? Like it took nothing for him to be like, oh, you're not tight. Okay, so why does it cost for you to be like, keep going? You know, maybe, you know, whatever, you know, you keep going. People hit me up from high school or whatever the fuck, and they'd be like, yo, you know, I'm trying to rap and do this and that and all that. And I tell them, do it. I'm not going to ignore your message. I'm not going to be one of these people, oh, fool, you never supported me, fool, so fuck you, dog. I'm not even going to respond, fool. Like, that's fucking corny, dog. You know what I mean? It's corny for you to have this, they never supported me, so I'm not going to support them mentality. That's where we're fucked up today in society, where we think that we're entitled to these fucking views and opinions. And that's where it's kind of the disconnection is that I want to challenge. It's more so, well, why do we think like that? Why can't we just, you know, the whole thing with the kids and the bake sale, dog, I could have went to fucking the store. I could have bought a whole tray of cookies or Oreos or whatever it is for $2. I didn't have to support them, but I supported the kids. Why? Because they're the youth. They're the fucking future. They're the seeds. Just because you don't see just because you don't see greatness now, don't mean you're not going to see greatness later. And then what's going to happen? The cycle's going to repeat. Oh, he didn't support me, so I'm not going to support him. It's a vicious cycle. I've had it to me. I don't think I've done it to other people. I don't think, but I could be wrong. And that's what we have to be conscious of in society as artists. We have to be better about supporting other people. Like I said, I've supported other people's music that I don't even like. I don't even like their shit. But I say, hey, you know what? That's dope. You keep going, man. Or anytime you fucking need a like or a support, because that's how people feel like they're gonna, you know, whatever, boost their confidence or whatever. I'm there, man. Like, that's cool. You don't have to fucking hit me up and tell me, hey, man, do you need to support my page? 9 times out of 10, I probably didn't see it. I'm fucking busy. I'm not really on social media like that. I'll try to skim through everything and try to, you know, give a like here and there or whatever as much as I can to other artists like that, just because I feel like I'd want the love reciprocated. So, you know what I mean? To get along, you got to go along. To get respect, you got to give respect. Things like that. People are backwards though. People want to think, oh, in order for fucking, I lost my train of thought. People think like, in order for you to get my respect, you got to respect me. Well, why can't you just give that respect back? I don't understand. It's not a big deal. It's really not, bro. Anybody that tells me they want to do music, they want to do it, I encourage them. Do it. Fucking go, bro. Don't wait for me to tell you your shit's dope, because 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to be like, just do better. I'm not going to tell you your shit's dope. If you get a, yo, that shit is fire from me, That is me wholeheartedly co-signing you and saying you got something, i.e. a fucking Ray Guns, a Blind Owl, JB Ill, historian, whoever it is. I don't want to, miss anybody, but the people that I said that they were dope and wholeheartedly, Looney, anybody out there that I co-sign is from the heart, bro. And I don't get me wrong though. I'm not gonna fucking throw confetti and I'm not gonna give you bouquets of flowers and things of that nature. I'm just gonna give you words of wisdom from your boy, because I wish I would have got that. I wish somebody would have been like, yo, you know what? You're onto something. Maybe you don't got it now, but you're gonna get it soon if you just apply yourself and you work hard. Hard work beats the talent when the talent don't work hard. I was a prime example of that. When I started out, I was dog shit. I'm gonna be real. My first mixtape, my first EP, my first couple of mixtapes, the first whole year of me rapping was not good. Shout out to everybody who supported me then. I know who you are, and you know who you are who didn't support me when I asked you. And it's fine. I'm not dwelling on that. I don't have any hard feelings about any of that shit, because I understand as an artist now, you go back and you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I could see how I wasn't great then, but I'm great now. And you have to solidify in your greatness now, because nobody's going to give that to you. If you truly in your heart believe you're going to be somewhere or you are somebody, then own that shit, bruh. Nobody was given awards. Like, nobody gave me an award. I had to take that shit. I had to work for mine. You know what I mean? And that was something I wanted to address on the Curtis King thing he did on his Instagram. Shout out to Curtis King out there. Just wanted to challenge that. Like, why do we feel like we have to support? Like, why do we feel like we have to support people like way later on? Why can't we just give them, support at least a little bit? Like up front. I don't know. I never understood that, because no one did that for me, So 30 years of 36 Chambers. Yes. One of the greatest albums of all time. And Midnight Marauders, but I wasn't a super big Tribe fan. So 36 Chambers came out 30 years ago. One of the greatest albums of all time. One of the greatest groups of all time. That album, 36 Chambers, is the reason why I got into mathematics, is the reason why you have a person like Serbs, self-equality, ruler born, savior. That's the supreme alphabet. My name in the supreme alphabet. It's a great album, bro. I think 36 Chambers, I can't say enough of it. I was just listening to it last week, the whole week, just bumping it, and it takes me back, bro. I don't think I could ever make an album like that, from the samples to the skits to a little bit of it is dated, especially like Torture. I think that's the only thing that's dated. Everything, the rhymes, the beats. Hold on. Oh, did you hear that? God damn, man. I've been waiting for that one. But 36 Chambers, man, I want to give everybody their flowers, especially RZA. RZA's a supercomputer artist, bro. Like, we'll only get one RZA in this lifetime. Just the griminess, the grittiness, the business mindset, everything about RZA as a person, as an artist, is crazy to me. I never went down his solo album, but definitely Gravediggers, the 6 Feet Deep, and 36 Chambers I hold a special place in my heart. And I thought that, Gravediggers, were they 94? Yeah, I think they were 94. Cause we'll definitely talk about that more. But 36 Chambers, the whole album is fucking fire. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely hop off of this and go listen to that, because just the way it starts. I mean, there's like no filler tracks. You know what I mean? It's a bulletproof album. It's one of those albums you could just put it on and just let it rock. Granted, you might skip the Torture skit, but even that skit is funny. You know what I mean? Awesome. It's just an awesome album. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now, but it's just a phenomenal album. My favorite artist out of that album is definitely Raekwon. Raekwon is my favorite Wu member. Then I'll probably say Dirty, Ghost, RZA, Inspector. And those are my favorite artists of that album. The best song, probably, shit, man, I can't even. It's definitely either the first two songs, Shame on a Nigga or Bring the Ruckus. Those are my favorite songs off of that album. Just how it kicks it off, it just brings the energy, and it's just, the vibe is there, you know what I mean? And that whole vibe, that whole album, it was missing. That album is what the culture was missing in hip hop then, and it's definitely missing now. You know what I mean? I told the story about me bringing the album, listening to it for the first time, going shooting with my pops for the first time. I got the Wu-Tang manual. It broke down that whole album from the chess to the kung fu flicks to the slang to everything, the drugs, everything they were in their life. It's a phenomenal book. It's a phenomenal album. I kind of wanted to break it down more, but it's just, I shout that album out in one of my songs I have. Riz is a big inspiration on me. 5%. Oh yeah, I talked about it. The 5%, you know, the Nations of the Gods and Earths. Producing, he was a super big influence on me for sure. I still want to learn how he does, like his techniques and all that. Message of the day, man. You know, said it before. It don't cost nothing to support nobody. You know, like, you gotta just be aware of your ego and put your ego in check, man. Don't be one of these fucking people that thinks they don't need to support anybody and everyone should suck their dick. That's a crazy mentality. We got to break out of that. You got to have some sort of ego check where you're just like, well, fuck it. Like, I was one of those artists, those young artists that's trying to make it right now. So why don't I just give them some help? And if you are one of those people, shout out to you, bruh. This is the God's Hour.
Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now.
While the angels fly over my headstone.